It took a little effort to get the truck positioned how we need to in the showroom, which is pretty awesome, right? So we're actually in the showroom at OK 4-Wheel Drive as opposed to being back in the bay. Yeah, it's a happening spot. This is my first time up here at OK 4-Wheel Drive, and it's gonna be a fun day. We're putting truck vault in the Tacoma and the 4Runner this year. Heard lots of good things about it, and this is the first time I've actually touched one. So these drawer systems were custom made for our specific application, but they do have engineered systems for the 4Runner and the Tacoma available. Yeah, we're gonna lay out some of this parts equipment here and get started with the install. Drawers in, boxes in. We're gonna document pieces of this kind of coming together so you can see how simple this system is to actually put in your truck. Very modular system here as it's coming together. We're getting the brackets lined up. Ren's working on that. It'll actually bolt down to the bed, so we'll need to drill a hole through the bed to mount that down. So to give you some perspective of how big these drawers are, we have inserted Chris shocks. That doesn't include collapsing your ribs.
All right, give me a tug.
But we've got two 63-quart ARB fridges this year that both sit on a cab tilt slides. It's a very simple system, and it adds complete access to your fridge even if you have high drawers, right?
Which I do, and that was kind of more of a functionality thing that we put into the 4Runner, is because I do have high drawers, and for a second we thought that the actual fridge wasn't going to fit, but with the tilt slide it made it completely usable. I mean, we can pull it out, and also the install was not bad at all. It's just 4 bolts that went into the truck vault drawer system. I'm excited to see that come to market here in the States. I think there's some really exciting things coming from a cab.
Ow, that's hot. So like, so there's nothing there. We're
doing a magic show with Chris in there.
There's nothing there, right?
Well, yeah, you're good.
We've got our holes drilled and set. So maybe when we go on a beer run, we'll actually go get those T-nuts. We're prepping to install the cab canopy. And so what we're gonna do is put butyl in here to make this thing watertight. Just kind of, or stack it in there and just, so let's, kind of like a really tacky Play-Doh, and you don't want to eat it. I don't know, you can eat Play-Doh. I don't really remember eating Play-Doh, but my son is probably eating Play-Doh. My dogs love Play-Doh. I do remember on the Lear cap that I had, it would actually leak underneath this plastic of the molding on the bed rail too, so I'm gonna try to put some of this along that seam too. These are the little plates that go in the existing rails in the Tacoma bed. And pretty straightforward. And this will essentially hold down the canopy.
This Jeep we did a 6.4 Hemi in like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The guy is doing, this company takes, the trans is a Mercedes-based trans in the Jeep. They do AMG valve bodies for it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's getting an AMG valve body and a bunch of other cool stuff.
In a Jeep?
This one right here, yeah.
The fun stuff that you get to work on when you work at a 4-wheel drive shop.
Yeah, right? It's got 80,000 miles since we put the Hemi in. He daily drives it. Jim, my dad started OK 1979, 18 years old, with a gas station and 2 bays. Really liked Jeeps, and nobody was modifying or building Jeeps. Building it with a fiberglass tub, started racing, other people liked it, and kind of went on from there. Yeah, so from a young age, I was always over here running around, learning, seeing things. So people ask how long I've been into Jeeps. I've been into Jeeps my whole life. We have a white CJ5 that we basically grew up off-roading in on the weekends, and we used to have 5 people in it, including a baby seat on the center console.
You guys are 100% renewable here, right?
Yep, so the whole building's powered by solar, and all waste oils we use an efficient heater to heat the shop. Most people think 4-wheel drives, they think wrecking nature, they think, you know, big monster trucks with stickers over them. We like nature, so it's important to us, you know, to protect what we love and do our part.
Cool. You can kind of rest it there real quick. Tires, wheels, and cornfields here at OK Four-Wheel Drive. We're putting the feet on the canopy for the front run rack. So we'll zip these down and tighten them up and be ready to go. Oh yeah.
As you notice with the Alu cab, the shadow awning, as big as it is and as much protection as it covers, you know, it's really hard to believe that only one person can do it, and with the ease that you can do it.
Camp's going to be fun this year.
It will.
Camp's going to be a lot of fun.
And I mean, you know, we actually got to test it out last year at Expo East, and we had it, or Rin had it on his setup, and it was in about 25, 30 mile per hour winds, and he still didn't have the stilts down. It was doing completely fine. So I'm really looking forward to putting it through the elements and seeing what that thing can do.
I thought I did a pretty good job at home, and I thought I had just like every tool that I ever needed, but clearly I've got a lot to learn here.
I just need to open it a little more. Perfect. So I'll come down a little bit and in.
Yeah, that looks good. That looks really good. So this is it, huh? You okay, man?
Yeah, that was fake.
That was fake? Oh, okay. You did good. It looked real. And Ren is wiring a little bit. I'm going to install a couple accessories here from Front Runner on the rack above the cab. First one we have is universal gas bottle holder. This is going to give us the ability to kind of carry propane, but with the expeditions that we've got going and stuff this year, we need to be able to access gas pretty easily and carry a lot because we're going to be feeding some people. So I'm going to get started on installing this, like I said, while Ren runs the wires through the canopy, and then I think we'll be done with the Tacoma. Ooh, I'm not kidding.
The tour here itself is
We've been working with Blue Ridge Overland gear for a long time, since MSO kind of started. Instead of me talking about it and telling you all about it, we're going to have Matt kind of share some insights here on what we have the truck equipped with.
Sounds dangerous. And our goal is typically to run unutilized space. So back and headrest, same thing. We've got first aid kit pouches, a bunch of different Velcro pouches that stick to stuff like that. Molly panels, so you've got the seat panels that attach to the headrest and around the bottom of the seat. They don't interfere with the person sitting. They don't interfere with the airbags. It protects the back of your seats if you have little kids, which is kind of why the whole project started. And then we make a bunch of different pouch accessories that attach to that. The carpet's basically loop, so Velcro pouches will actually stick to these things. So when you're looking for sort of small space and you want it kind of within, you know, arm's reach of the driver, this is another piece of space that nobody really utilizes well. We've built a small little attic for the back of the Taco here, so you can just get a jacket up here, sort of that kind of stuff. You know, I think it's about 12 inches deep, and it's about 24 inches across, or 28 inches across. Works off of the grab handles and your clothes rack here. One of the things we came out with was a modular tire storage system, so you can add things like MaxTrax bags and stuff like that. The other thing is the bags are stackable, so they're all built on the same platform width-wise, including the MaxTrax, the Go Treads, or whatever you've got. All I've got to do is take and I just clip it into the same system. I can end up stacking two bags back here on top of each other, so I can have a recycling bag and a trash bag, or whatever you want.
Can bag,
yeah, whatever you want on the back. This is actually a throw bag kit. So in here is a 20-foot winch extension. It's a 19,000 pound winch extension, so it's going to manage like pretty much anything you need to throw at it, you know, relative to a truck this side. And then it's set up so the shackles actually hook around it and stay here. It's got enough room that if you wanted to throw a pair of gloves in here or some extra stuff, there's still quite a bit of room in the bag. It'll actually hold a 30-foot winch extension if that's what you happen to have. This is actually ARB's tire repair kit right there, and we set it up so it can come off. You can strap other sort of plastic bags to the outside like this, and then it's got room so you can actually put two 4x12 pouches on the inside. I put 2 pouches on the outside, one that I could store deflator in, so it was sort of always at the ready. And then
you got your inflator in there.
And then I dropped an inflator on this side.
Super simple.
Yeah, a piece of 2-inch webbing. We kind of bar tack it so wrenches will actually hold themselves up in it. It's got some Velcro in there, a little nylon closure on it. You can tighten that sucker up, throw them in the drawer, and they don't make a ton of noise and they don't come out going down the road. I think that's all the fun. That and the fridge bag is gonna look really good right here.
Yeah, fridge bag will look really nice right there.
Yeah.
Keep on straight back. Yeah. We are going to remove the factory rack rails off of Gabby's 4Runner here and put a front runner full length Slimline 2 rack up here. So we're going to be doing some drilling on the roof, which is going to be nice. I think Gabby's pretty excited about that.
Very much. I mean, I'm pretty happy with the end result. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
You're never going to be happy when you're drilling into the roof of your vehicle.
What?
No going back. No turning back around.
Oh, you're drilling holes in my roof?
I am.
That's great.
They've done those installs here at OK 4-wheel drive before, so that was kind of nice to have that expertise here.
I think we did it to spec, and I think I'm pretty happy with it.
The front runner systems are very well thought out, and everything integrates, and there's so many options for customizing it on your own, and then all of the accessories that come with a front runner system too. This is going to make a big difference on the appearance of your truck. Full length roof rack, you're going to really appreciate this.
I wonder if we can still access it. Yeah, I think we can.
So there's stops. Yeah, I put the stops in. They're back here. There's 2 of them. And they look just like that. And they basically just screw in and screw out. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen one of these in a 4Runner yet. How come everybody didn't get the plaid memo today? Yeah, I've got a plaid shirt I can actually change into. We could all go plaid today.
You
have what?
Pearl snaps. I have to have pearl snaps on my plaid.
Why?
Because Matt inspired me.
I bet they get
Yep.
one, because I inspired you.
Matt's on the receiving end.
Put it back. Go back.
I'm excited about it with the 4Runners. We're getting it re-geared. I've had a lot of, weight on the truck before, and I've had a lot of struggles, powering up, and but we got Yukon gears down to us here at OK 4-wheel drive, and we're actually going to leave the 4Runner here and get them to re-gear it and come back and pick it up in a few weeks. So I'm very excited about that.
You're going to be like driving a whole new vehicle. I mean, you're like, oh my gosh, where'd all the power come from?
Oh yeah.
That's why we do this, is because we've gotten to the point where we know what we want the vehicles to have as far as equipment and what that weight feels like, and then we've made the decision on our tire sizes. We're not going to be going any bigger than that, and once those decisions are made, that's when you say, okay, it's time to get gears.
Pressing on and off the bearings, setting backlash, pinion depth, and such like that, you need specific instruments for that. Calipers, dial indicator. So usually what the average shop guy or home mechanic doesn't have. So that's why you need to come to a professional shop, show it is set up correctly. And if there is any problems, you can come back to them. They're kind of all go and no show. Like you're spending $1,500 to $2,000 on a modification that people can't see. So usually they want to see more bang for their buck. They want to see the bling.
Yeah.
So it kind of gets overlooked, even though it is one of the most important things you could do.
Yukon also said that we need to put these gears through 500 miles of regular, inconsistent service before we hit full speed highway and then swap the gear fluid out. Why is that important?
It just puts heat cycle in them, let them break in correctly, then bring it back, dump the fluid, check them out, flush it, refill it, and then you're good to go for the life of the vehicle.
And there's some great resources out there to determine what size gears that you need for your tire gear ratio combination, correct?
Yeah, like Randy's, like you mentioned Yukon. They have all those charts.
Okay.
You can do your old tire size, new tire size with current gear ratio, put it in the matrix, and then you can go up or down from there.
Okay.
Like if you're like, hey, 48s, maybe I'm not doing as much off-road, and maybe I want to go down to 456s to get a little bit more overdrive.
Yeah.
Or you want to get a little bit more low end, so you might bump it up to 513s.
Yeah.
So at least it gives you a baseline where to start, and then you can decide from there.
Okay, Chuck, thank
Awesome.
you.
No problem. Anytime.
We are back at OK Four Wheel Drive. It's been about 30 days since we were here last. Gabby's at home. He wasn't able to make the trip up here, so I've got my dad with me today. Ben's behind the camera, and Ren's gonna be working with us to help get everything situated. James Brewed tents, Safari snorkel, and then we're gonna be putting LED lighting in the canopy here, the Lucab canopy. So we've got a busy day, and let's get started. So we're preparing the top of the rack, the front runner platforms, the Slimline 2 racks for the James Brewed tent. We're taking some Lucab extrusions and actually mounting those in place and locking them on top of the platform rack so that it gives that little bit of space for the James Brewed tent to sit up there.
We talked about this earlier. I'm one of those people who everything I try to do on a vehicle, it's like, it just doesn't work.
I'm the worst at working on things. I'm really bad at work. I'm allergic to it.
Everything I do is, you know, I hit this point of trying to like change my brake pads, and it's just, it's corroded or whatever, and it ends up being like a 2-hour job, it's 12 hours, you know?
I think they know what they're doing. I have no idea what they're doing, but they seem like they got it figured out.
This is our Explorer model, which opens straight up and down, gives you 360 degrees of visibility and ventilation, and also has a storage pocket up top that can hold 50 pounds of storage, either with bungees or with a custom bag.
This one goes up to, how tall does this one get? Like 24 inches or something? Or 36?
36.
Right, and then 52 on the space. It's a matter of preference, right?
It is,
Yeah.
They're the same exact footprint. The only difference is the opening methods.
Yeah.
Some people like the added room in the space to kneel and get dressed. Other people in hotter climates love the 360 degree screening.
Kind of just, I'll keep it stable for you.
Okay. So we've got the tent on top. We've had to put new feet under the front runner rack. We'll get all that dialed in, and then we'll start cutting in a fender and installing the Safari snorkel from ARB on the 4Runner.
Yeah, I think we hit the mark. I think it was probably about 2.5 hours-ish. The biggest thing was probably waiting for the paint to dry.
Taking those extra steps is like extremely important, so you don't just get it done, like you're doing it right. So there it is, huh? Pretty involved.
Should only take exactly 150 minutes.
You think we could do that in 150 minutes?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? But typically this process is pretty straightforward, especially when it's not your vehicle. What'd you say?
Take an hour and a half to get these out.
We're there. I can see the air intake. And that's what's nice about the snorkel too, is it allows cleaner airflow, because all of the dirt and junk that's thrown up underneath the wheel is getting turned up and filtered out of this port here. Does anybody think we should tell Gabby like how dirty his car really is? We've actually been working on this truck for about 20 minutes, and Dad looks like he crawled through somebody's duct. Not too really sure what's going on here.
Did you get this battery post?
Gabby's repair job here on the battery. Little worm clamp.
Some good technique though on that worm clamp.
Yeah, I know, right? So we got some cleaner and a rag. They're working on the snorkel. We're gonna come out here and we're gonna put in 3 LED light strips in the back of the canopy of the truck, in the Lucab canopy. and everything's plug and play, so it should be pretty straightforward for us. This is all like brand new, but I don't want to have to redo this. And we're trying to mount these lights up high enough so they're out of your eye as you're walking into the truck, because there's nothing worse than having like an extremely bright lighting surface like right in your line of vision as you're walking toward it. So we have the surface kind of primed, and we've got the 3M adhesive strip, and it's actually kind of funny, we just realized this, but they fit perfectly between the latches, which is really convenient. Just like that. And give everything a really good thorough push here to kind of set the adhesive. First snorkel done here for the 5th Gen 4Runner at OK 4-wheel drive?
Yeah, they air freighted it to us, and it's the first one we've done. The truck, taking the truck apart is harder than putting the snorkel on.
They cut everything out using the template. We put up some spray guards or whatever, and then they spray painted this so that we wouldn't have any rusting, you know, in just about any condition that this vehicle will be in. So it's all been done real nice. We think the paint set up to cure, and we're gonna go ahead and start and put the snorkel on now.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Look at that.
The suspension system was all ARB. The 4Runner got BP51s last year. The Tacoma got BP51s towards the end of last year. So both trucks, I think, have seen around 30,000 miles on the BP51 system. The biggest difference that I can tell in that suspension system is it's completely customizable. It gives you the ability to dial in based on your load, based on your travel, based on your style. So I have mine set up kind of as a dual sport system. Yeah, so you have some experience in the rally car world too, right?
Yep.
How does suspension systems kind of weigh in and play into rally car driving?
People who really get suspension tuning are able to perform leaps and bounds above the rest of the competition, because they're able to tune their suspension to match traction surfaces, the tires they're using, et cetera, et cetera. So say you're going to be running on tarmac for, you know, an event, and your suspension is able to be tuned for that surface. It really helps to be able to do that, as opposed to just having one carry-all suspension that maybe isn't best for, say, tarmac or gravel or anything of that sort. Being able to tune your suspension for that helps you insanely, having a smooth ride and being able to actually handle the truck and not lose control.
So yeah, that's great. And we've got the ARB fridge in here too. So it's a 63 quart fridge. We needed bigger fridges this year because we're going to be taking client trips and we're going to be taking people out on expeditions outside of our show. Really excited about the ARB system, ARB fridges, and especially having more capacity of a 63 quart fridge.
More beer.
More beer, more food, more refreshments, and more fun, right? I mean, that's pretty much the simplest way it goes.
Pretty much.
We are here in Bedford County, Virginia at my home actually. It's raining outside, it's still winter, and I'd prefer to see snow because it's like 35 degrees outside. We spent the last couple weekends at OK 4-wheel drive in Stewartsville, New Jersey, and getting a lot of work done on the trucks. But there's only so much time in a day and a weekend or even a couple weekends, so we've got some small pieces that we're going to be equipping them with the trucks here at home and maybe at Toyota here in town, or maybe at some of the tire shops and stuff like that. So first order of business is a Warren Xeon Platinum 10,000 pound winch. We need a little bit more pulling capacity because the truck's getting pretty heavy, and we may be pulling a trailer here this year or next, so you just don't know. We're at Haley Toyota in Roanoke, Virginia, and Tyler, who you guys can remember, I don't know if you can see him down there, but we're really happy to have him back with us. He helped us do a lot of the work for the 4Runner and the Tacoma at the beginning of last year. One of the pieces of maintenance that we're addressing today is our drive shaft. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move on to tires. And we'll show you a little bit of that here soon. The drive shaft was getting a little bit sloppy, and instead of spending $950 for the OEM piece, I decided that it was important to maybe find a custom alternative for, you know, a one-piece drive shaft. You do have to measure the distance from flange to flange and measure the whole pattern to make sure that you have the appropriate fit, because they will custom build this for you and paint it and other nice stuff. So upside down here, but Tom Wood drive shafts is going to be a big help here for reliability and durability on the trail this year. Woo! Yeehaw! We are putting on Cooper Discover STT Pro tires. These are going to be a game changer for us this year, as we will be traversing some terrain that will challenge our truck's abilities and our ability. There's a lot of meat on here. I'm pretty anxious to get some miles on these before we head up the road here in like 45 days. As you'll tell where we're going, these tires are going to be relied on very heavily. I've had a lot of experience working with Cooper tires in the past and have them on different platforms of vehicles, from Bronco 2s to, you know, first gen Tacomas, and thrilled to put some miles on these Pros this year and put them through the ringer. It's going to be a lot of fun. How'd they come? Woo! Good. Did you, are you volunteer like cheerleaders, or were you volunteer water people, or what?
Volunteer water people.
I just want to point out, look at he has a hole in his mouth, and this tends to happen.
Oh yeah?
I was up way too early.
What am I gonna do?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock? That's impressive.
That's one word. You know, I usually don't prepare for the trip, you know, more than 5 hours ahead of time. So basically I just grab all my overlanding equipment and I toss it in here. We've got boots in here, we've got hoodies, we've got cords, a can of Bush's black beans, Helinox chair, portable showers, basically anything that we would need.
What's a portable shower? An ass wipe.
It's a professional whore bath. Vegan, hypoallergenic, and pH balanced. I'm not exactly sure what that does, but we'll definitely be using it when somebody starts smelling bad. Truck Vault does give you the option to put dividers in here, and you can divide it in 4 separate compartments or in 2 separate compartments. However, I didn't really take the time to do that. I kind of just like to throw stuff in here, as you can see. The more space for useless junk that I know I'm not going to use but I take with me anyways, the better. The guys at OK 4-Wheel Drive did an awesome job kind of helping us out and getting it designed and getting it, you know, set up in the 4Runner, so props to them. We put the Elu cab fridge slide on here. Works really well, very versatile, very easy to use, gives us access to the fridge outside of the truck. So it sits right on top and it's very easy to use, very versatile, and we have access to the fridge from outside of the truck as well.
How's that thing smell?
It smells pretty raunchy right now. On our last trip, we had some fish in there, and some fish juice leaked out, and the fish juice sat in there for a few days. So I don't want to open it too much, because last time I did, and this is no joke, I threw up. Once I get it cleaned out a little bit more, then we can open it back up and take another sniff. It's a solid setup that does not, you know, it moves the whole truck when you move it. So, you know, I'm very happy with it, and I think this is probably going to stay in the truck for a while. I don't think it's going anywhere.
This is the command center in the Tacoma, and we're mirroring the same exact setup in the 4Runner this year. This monitor is an LCD monitor, 7-inch monitor from Roster Precision's Controls. Right now I can see full time behind me what's going on, and it doesn't just turn on when I put it in reverse. We also have the ability for 2 more input channels, where we will be installing front facing cameras off of the bumpers to give us point of view for perspectives when we're in tight situations, in case we don't have a spotter available to kind of get us through the trails. It is not too much of an obstruction at night, but if it is, guess what? You just turn it off. Simple as that. But this is the camera from Rostra Precision Controls that we installed. It functions very well at nighttime and lights up the entire space, but during the daytime, it's a much better solution than the OEM camera that's on the back of the truck. And since we can't use that because all this stuff's on here now, this is absolutely a must. And it's all plug and play, so it's designed to fit with this truck. We have an iPad down here for general logistics, mapping, communications, and whatnot. And then we have a Garmin InReach here as well. This is the new Explorer Plus, and it gives us the ability to communicate via satellite with our family, track our positions, share our locations, check the weather, and all sorts of fun stuff. That is directly integrated in with Garmin EarthMate app. Okay, so based on our current location, it can actually find us over here, track our coordinates, and we can pull in, zoom out, see where we need to go, and track our exact location. It actually keeps tracks of where we text message or send messages to people via satellite, and what those messages were. Over here on the right, which you can't, or left, which you can't see really clearly, but I can pull it out, is our remote control for our platinum worn winch. We have this on both trucks. We upgraded to this on the Tacoma this year. Gabby already has it installed on his 4Runner. GoPro, so you're going to see a lot of in-cab content from us this year, so that we can track radio conversations and such. And since they're voice activated, the great thing is I can have these set up in all of the trucks, and I can give a kind of a shout out to everybody and say GoPro start recording, and everybody's cameras will turn on, which is pretty cool. So we get a perspective from 6 different trucks. And then the final piece actually is the MXT 400 Midland GMRS two-way radio. Last year we used the MXT 100, and with its 5 watts we were thoroughly impressed. This MXT 400 that's in the trucks now is 40 watts. So we are looking at quite an impressive platform for communicating with the people that are on our guest trips, our guided trips, and that are part of our production. So whether we have 6 or 7 trucks or not, and the group gets stretched out for whatever reason, Gabby being in the front or I being in the back or whatever, we can communicate with each other no matter what the distance is really. The only ability we've had to test the range on this unit so far is from mountaintop to valley bottom around Potts Creek, Virginia, and we stretch like somewhere around 15 to 18 miles. So Midland MXT 400 is a great radio for everything that you need to do in the woods. It's been a great few weekends being here and building at OK 4-Wheel Drive and getting to know the family and a lot of the people that work here. And the next step from here is to go on a trip, right?
Eat dinner, then go on a trip.
Oh yeah, so we gotta eat dinner too and drink some beer and have some fun. So thanks again for everything, man.
No worries.
Absolutely.